Hello and welcome to another episode of Shampoo and Booze. This is episode number 19 at shampooandbooze.com. Hi Jay, how are you feeling?
Good. Yeah, this has been a sick week for us. We've both had the flu, so we've been on our backs all week long. But, we the part of doing this is we just want to keep ourselves, we just want to document ourselves here, as we run this rental business that we've started. So even though we were sick, we still have a business to run. We have people that have rented our Airbnb. So it does not matter if we're sick or not. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
And it did. It's no big deal.
Well, the good thing is, we had people checking in on a Friday, and that was kind of like the tail end of us being sick. So we kind of like muscled through and cleaned the house. And the thing that we did that we don't usually do is we let them check themselves in. We do have electronic, locks, so you can just give someone the code, and as long as they have the code, they could just let themselves in.
Yeah, I mean, I bet that's what a majority of Airbnb owners do, is that they actually don't want the hassle of meeting people and all that. So
it can be a hassle, yeah.
Actually, one of the big reasons why we didn't want to meet our renters is because we do have flu, and it's very contagious. We just wanted to do them a favor and not give them the flu.
Not even get near them, so that was part of it. But we didn't tell them that.
Yeah, so I actually wrote, a note explaining everything, giving the instructions, and it was great. I mean, the awesome thing is they came, they checked in, and we were at home when they checked in, and probably within an hour of them checking in, they actually booked for a weekend in the future.
Yeah, it was really funny because I'm like, oh, we got an instant book. And then I looked, I'm like, it's the people staying there now. And then they messaged us, obviously, that they love the place. So that the funny thing is I was really excited that they did that, but they did it for Memorial Day. This leads into a whole other story. But so Memorial Day is a 3-day weekend. So you want those 3 days booked. They only booked 2 days out of the 3 days. So I was kind of mad about that. But Jay had just pointed me towards a link of how to change certain dates on Airbnb so that you can require 3-day check-in or however number you want.
And I want to say it's new. I forgot how I found it's this link, but I saw some people talking about it, and it's true. They have it. Airbnb hides it. It's very difficult to actually find. I had to find it in a forum where they actually explained it.
Yeah.
But so that way, we normally have 2 nights that people have.
Minimum 2 nights, yeah.
But on some weekends, we want 3 nights, even 4 nights, you know? And so you can actually block off certain times and say, if you have to book 3 nights in this
area, yeah.
And so that's great for us because, like Ryan said, I mean, some of these holidays are big weekends for us, and we can charge more for the weekend, and then, and it stinks when someone takes up only 2 nights on a 3-night weekend. So that sprung me into action. At that very moment, I was like, I have to go block off all these. Like 4th of July is on a Monday. That's a 3-day weekend. I think I even require people to book 4 nights that night. Wow.
I gotta double check that because that's a little bit crazy. But the great thing is on HomeAway has always made it easy to do that. HomeAway, you just set the dates, you say the price, and you say you can only book 3 nights, or however many. So I'm glad that Airbnb is allowing you to do that because it's kind of crazy when you're not, allowing people to do that.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess it used to spend about an hour just on the computer going through all of 2016 and
2017.
So that way we are good into the future because we're noticing we're getting bookings, springtime is kind of slowly arriving, and we're starting to get a lot of people to book, and people are booking into the future. I mean, we were getting a booking September, October. So, we have to really think far ahead.
Right. So, you don't think you're going to have to think that far ahead, but I was like, I might as well do 2017 so we don't have to think about it again.
Yeah.
You know, because someone like this, you know, it's March and they're thinking of May. It's smart because, you know, working people, they know they're going to have that time off.
Right.
They liked our place. They want to come back. Those are the kind of people you want, you know?
Yep. And, you know, we're like that. I mean, if we know we're going to be someplace, we just like to get it all in order.
All settled, yeah.
And I find, like, when we're renting on Airbnb, like, you got to kind of plan ahead because I find there are so few places that kind of meet affordable and, like, nice.
Yes.
And it's very rare that you have to.
Affordable and nice,
You cannot put it off.
Right.
So actually we're going to, like, Bellingham at Washington in April, and so we actually booked for 5 nights.
Yeah.
And it's some guy, you know, it's a family. They have a house upstairs and they, like, have a whole downstairs.
A huge basement apartment.
Yeah,
massive.
And it looked like it's kind of more like a play room area, but they've converted it into a bedroom, and so they're probably making extra money. He's a super host.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
They have great reviews. It looks very comfortable. You know what's cool about Bellingham? I just looked on the map. Mm-hmm. There are all these walking trails. Like right behind their house is this big walking trail, like into town.
Wow!
It's kind of cool that that's incorporated into the city. So I'm looking forward to that. Even though it is a work trip, it's not just vacation.
Yeah, but you know, and to me, it's amazing. I was like, you know, should I just get a hotel that's close to where we're going to work, because we're going to be working all day, and it's really just wherever we rent. It's just going to be sleeping. But you know what? To get a decent hotel, it's like $120 a night, and this was about $87 a night for a huge, like, it's the whole downstairs of a house.
Yeah,
you know?
This big apartment.
So I was like, of course, let's just do it like that.
Yeah, and we're renting a car so we can drive to our venue. But I think what's funny is, what's great is that Airbnb was a much better choice.
Yeah.
For so many reasons, you know.
I mean, I will say for me, I've always rented, or we started renting on Airbnb mainly about price. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, hotels are not that cheap. I mean,
they're
even
not cheap.
Quality Inn or whatever is not that cheap, and what you get is not very much for what you pay. So I feel Airbnb is still a good price. I mean, even our place, you know, we have, I think, one of the higher end places in our area.
Yes.
It's like we've talked about, because we're trying to, like, it's maximize its profit, but we feel like we're still cheaper than if people were to rent 4 hotel rooms versus getting a whole house. A whole house, you know?
We had someone book for September because they're going to a wedding over a weekend. Again, I've said we're very popular for those people. And she said it's more economical it's like 3 couples or something. Or 2 couples and 2 kids, something like that.
Yeah,
it was like,
exactly.
She was like, this is cheaper than, you know, having several hotel rooms for all these people. And it's obviously a nicer experience because it's, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to be able to have people do the comparison and realize it.
Now, it's interesting, too, as the people are booking for the spring and summertime, people are wanting to get out of a city and have, like, a little, you know, a bunch of friends want to come out and then go and hike.
Right.
That's a big thing where we are.
Yeah.
We get these people who are like, well, there's going to be, you know, it's first they say they're like, well, there's going to be, you know, 5 of us. We're like, okay, fine, you know, and they book. And then we'll get the email, well, actually 2 more people want to come.
There's 7.
Is that okay? And we only have beds for 6 people.
Right.
So can someone sleep on the floor, you know? And, you know, and for us, as long as we feel like the people are not crazy party people.
Right.
I'm okay with it, you know.
You know, I have to say most people who run rentals would have canceled those people.
Right.
They would have.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, I'm like, I don't want to cancel these people. I want to keep the booking. I don't think it's a big deal if someone, I mean, they said, do you have an air mattress? We're like, No, we
Yep.
have 6 beds.
Yeah,
Or
no,
whatever.
right.
3 beds.
We're very clear. It's what the boundaries are. I try and make sure I understand. There's only a bathroom and a half, so
Yeah.
7 people have to figure out how to make that work. And so as long as they have the right expectations, we're fine. And for them, I know it's all about price. They're like, this is great.
It's a great price
whole
for
house for
them.
7 people for
$250 a night.
yeah. This is great.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I don't know. Maybe we will evolve with this, but I know a lot of places have a system, like an equation, where price starts to raise after
After a certain amount.
Sometimes it's even after like two
Sometimes
people.
it's after 2 people.
Right. It's like 2 people is this base price and $25 per person
Right.
after this. So if you had 5 extra people after that, you're talking $200 extra on top of it.
Yeah.
So I know people are looking at our place, even though we have a higher base rate.
Right.
We have,
But the base rate is the rate.
right. Our price does not grow as
Yeah.
more people come in, because to me, I personally just don't like it's nickel and diming.
Nope.
It's like, wait, there's 1 extra person, and then that gives incentive for people just to lie, and then we have to like sit here and worry, like, are they lying to us? Like, do I need to like go and drive by, and I'll just stand down at the end of the driveway and count the cars and the people, and then
Yeah.
and then it just becomes this like antagonistic relationship, and it's just no fun.
What it comes down to is, the places like that charge 25 extra a person, etc. Like, no doubt they're going to be like, okay, there's only 4 of us, and then the rest of the people come an hour later. For us, I'd rather just have them tell us,
Right.
and just be like,
And also, it's about, it all balances out. So 7 people book for a weekend at $250 a night. Okay, they're getting a great deal. Right now, there are 2 people staying there paying $250,
Just 2 people, yeah.
and it's just 2 people. So
they don't have a dog, they don't have kids.
and it's going to be a breeze to go in and clean. So it's just, it all bounces out,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But for me, the basic thing is everyone being honest, openness, and trust, and then everyone just being happy. Because also, I don't want to set up a system where, these people have incentive to lie, and then the whole time they're staying there, they're worried they're going to get caught.
Right.
There's this sense of like, they're staying there under the shadow of doing something
Wrong.
quote unquote wrong,
Yeah.
and just to save a couple extra bucks. And I would rather just be like, you know what, enjoy it. You know?
Look, and the other thing too is you're very clear. You're like, we expect you to keep the house and the grounds clean because that's more people than we expect, blah, 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 blah. It's not like we're just like, oh, whatever. You're saying it's more wear and tear on the house. Expect the bathrooms to, you need to stagger showers. You have to set up the expectations. Like, our house can only hold this many people.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So.
It's setting expectations, but again, at the end of the day, the whole point of any of this is for people to enjoy themselves.
Right.
And so we have to create an environment of people to be able to feel like they're at home.
Yeah.
And that they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and they're having a fun weekend.
That they aren't, taking advantage of us, or we're angry,
Right,
or we're spying
exactly.
on them.
And the great thing is she felt comfortable enough to ask.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Like, I don't know if we mentioned this before, but like right now there are people staying there right now. It's a Sunday. It's almost 1:00.
Yeah.
And our checkout time is normally noon.
Right.
But on a day like today, when no one else is booking, we're not going to go over there at noon anyway.
Right.
No matter what, because we have things to do. Like record this podcast. I always tell people, we're not going to get there till about 4. Just stay. You know, just take your time.
Take your time. You don't have to leave.
So that to me helps create the atmosphere of just like, we're not trying to nickel and dime you.
Right. Right.
We're actually giving you kind of a little bit extra.
A little bonus.
Doesn't cost us anything. And then they just feel more comfortable and at home. And most people actually leave early.
Yeah, most people just leave on time because they need to get home.
a life thing, but just us even offering that
Yeah.
is so much different than if we were the kind of people who are like, you got to get out by 11
Right.
o'clock, and then we're at the door knocking.
Now, in the summertime, it's different. When we are doing flips, we're flipping the house in 3 hours, and we are like, you do have to be gone by noon.
True, right? I mean, if there's
we have to
right,
do that.
yeah. If someone was checking in at 3, I always make clear, we need you out by noon
Yeah.
because we have to. And people are very
People are
like,
great.
oh, totally understood. My whole point is just not creating, these demands on people that are really not.
They're not necessary.
Right.
You're like, there's no way I'm going to get up and be over there by noon. Not in the state we're in. So, yeah, I think it's good to do that when it's possible. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's also talk about our second rental. We bought this place. We're the plan is to fix it up. We've been sick all week. I mean,
Yeah.
not much has been done. The roof is going slow. They've taken off everything. They've been fixing all the little bits that are old and
Yeah.
it's rotten. I mean, we actually haven't been over there and.
Well, I went over there with my mom was visiting. I went over on Tuesday. And, they cleaned up all the crap that was in the yard. They had left a bunch of junk. And Jay asked them to clean it up. You did, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I just think the weather has been bad. And I think this work just goes slowly. So that's what happens.
I mean, I think the other thing, too, to me, is that it doesn't really bother me because we are in a hurry.
No.
The faster they finish, the quicker we have to actually pay them the rest, and it's going to be a pretty penny. So the more time it takes, the more time it gives us to make money. And the other thing is we're slowly developing our full plan of what we're going to do to that house.
Right.
Well,
and it always changes, but I think that's just how we work. We've been watching this show, Grand Designs. It's a UK show. But it's just funny because like most normal people doing either renovations or building new, clearly they have an architect, a designer, an architect, and they have this plan and this schedule, and that is not how we work with
project manager.
We are the project manager. We are the designers. Not the architects, but generally we haven't needed architects. I think we kind of work in a process because it's more piecemeal, because number one, we do have time. We don't have to move into these houses.
Right. I mean, it's not our home.
It's not our home.
Waiting. Yeah.
So that's very helpful. And we have to make money as we go. This isn't like I have a big pot of money, like we didn't get a mortgage or a loan to do it. And I think when you get a loan, you are on the clock because you're paying that loan back as you go, right away. So you want to finish it and be done. But so it's a little bit different, and we've been changing what we wanted to do, and it takes more time and takes more money, but it's better.
And we've just found too that if we don't put these time constraints on ourselves, then actually its process becomes very enjoyable.
It's less stressful.
Yeah, I say enjoyable. She's less stressful, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because really there is no. I mean, the only constraint is the quicker it gets done, the quicker we'll start to make
money back. Yeah,
and money on that house, but we can't artificially make it go faster because we need to make money.
And the other thing too that we always have to remember is, you want to do it right. You want to do it now and not in 5 years. Putting stuff off, that stuff will never get done.
So what I'm talking about this. So and this is our process. So we visit again and again, and we're just like walking the space, and every time we kind of like think of something new. And it's all kind of piecemeal, these little tiny ideas, and then suddenly it starts to gel. And then, or at least I do. Then I start to get the vision.
Yeah.
The grand design.
The grand
design.
Show.
And so I think that I feel really good about now this idea that we're going to make the loft be an actual second floor.
Yeah.
So there's an actual like suite closed off room with like an extra bathroom. I think that suddenly
It makes the...
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And that is such a great idea.
Yeah.
And it totally like I think will transform that place.
The only problem I see with that is because we have the massive A-frame windows, that it cuts down on the light downstairs. Because right now there's like this like massive amount of light throughout the whole house because you have this wall of windows. And then you're essentially cutting off half of that and keeping all the light upstairs.
But real quick, but there will still be
Massive windows.
big windows
Yeah,
up front.
that's
And
true.
that's why now the two back windows, they have kind of covered.
They're
I mean,
covered.
like it's one has like an AC in it, and the
That's
other
true.
one they had a shade on it,
Right.
And they had like the TV thing covering it. That's why it's so important to have those windows.
Those windows in the back.
Be open and frosted,
Yeah.
so and lights come in.
true.
I think actually it might even be good because it will cut down on just the massive amount of light.
The heat that's
Heat
coming in
the whole
during the
thing.
summer.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're actually really creating a zone of its own upstairs,
Upstairs,
and
yeah.
then another zone downstairs.
That's true. No, and I think that the downstairs space can still be really... It's very open because it's one big open space, essentially. And you're right. And we are thinking of adding more windows on the side near the dining room area. So,
And then
Yeah.
I feel good about its bathroom. We finally just kind of accepted the fact that the bathroom's going to be the size that it is.
That
It's
it
just a
is,
small, tiny little bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, just like average.
but we're adding a bathroom upstairs, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Right, and so that actually makes the whole thing easier because we aren't going to be totally tearing everything out.
Yeah, it's just... But the thing is, the toilet right now is like right next to where the shower was.
Yep.
I mean, right next to it. And there was this big long vanity in the back. So we got rid of the vanity. I mean, everything's gone in the bathroom, but basically we're cutting the vanity in half, putting the toilet on one side and then the vanity next to it, which in my mind is exactly how it should have been. Like I just don't know why they laid it out like that. So that's going to be a project that hopefully will happen soon, of just moving
Yeah.
the toilet pipes
Yeah.
over to the right place.
Yeah. So actually, this week, our friend who does tile and stonework and
Yeah.
brickwork, he's actually coming over and he's going to tear up all of the
the
tile
tile.
that's in this house. Like the whole house is tiled.
This terracotta tile that's filthy and faded and just...
I don't know.
It's ugly.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was ugly.
Yeah, we just decided it was just better, and so he actually showed us. He came over and showed us how easy it's going to be to pull them up.
pull it up.
It's just going to be work.
I was afraid they wouldn't come up.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it'll come up, but...
Well, I mean, I thought they would be actually like in the ground,
But they weren't.
But they're
They're,
just like basically you just come up underneath them and they just pop up.
Yeah,
so.
they pop up. So my question to you is, what are we going to do with all the tile that gets pulled up?
Take
like-
it to the dump.
We just like take it to the dump.
Or, if you want to, if it's something that is interesting to you, find someone around here that wants fill.
They might need fill. Someone might need fill. I don't know.
Find
How am I
them.
going to find those people?
A look online on Craigslist, I mean,
I could put it on Craigslist.
the only thing is just that it has to be close enough where I can drive and drop it off.
Yeah.
Rather than
Yeah.
like me having to go an hour away or something.
Okay. Well,
Do it,
I'll try to do Craigslist and just say we have a bunch of tile that's fill.
Yep.
Because that is what they use for fill, is basically just rubble.
Rubble.
Like old bricks and cement and rubble. I mean, so.
Rubble.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Actually, I saw that on Grand Design. They were filling in this like patio thing, and they're like, "We just used all the junk from
Yeah.
when we tore the building down." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what they use."
Yeah.
So it'll be good to start that work because our contractor guy who has to do the building stuff isn't available for a few months.
He's not real full to probably like June.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is good because we probably won't be ready till
hopefully
then.
sooner. Yeah, we're going to be gone for a whole month on the West Coast to do some video work. So we wouldn't be here anyway to continue the project, because we like to be here when work is happening. We don't like to hire people and then just walk away. So.
Because a lot of times you need to be there to check in with them to make sure it's happening the way you want it to. I think that's part of it. And anytime we've been away where we've had people working, there's always been little things where I'm like, oh, that's not exactly how I wanted it, but it's done now. You know.
Yeah, so it's good. You know. And then the other big thing is Ryan found a guy is locally that paves roads, and
he does driveways.
So hopefully we're going to call him and see if he can't come over and see if hopefully he can help us figure out how to build a driveway that goes up the hill to the house itself.
Yeah.
And this would be one of the biggest things we've ever done.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's one of the biggest things. Biggest single thing.
It seems pretty extreme to me, but it would really add a lot of value. It'd be huge. So we don't know how it's realistic, but people do it. So
people do it. Like, we see these people build these like log cabins on the mountain, and they have to, I don't know how much they pay to get these like, you know, driveways up the side of a mountain and up to their little place. So, it's not that extreme, but you know, we're hoping it's like.
But it's like anything else. We've just learned to find people that know how to do things, and then just ask them, and then they tell you it's possible, it's not possible, it's cheap, it's expensive, you know, and then we just go from there.
You gotta just decide from there.
But the cool thing is, I don't know, Araya might have another opinion about this, but stuff like this excites me. Like, this is why we make our money is to do stuff like this, you know, to make places like this, and then once it's done, it's going to be an income generating project that I will be very proud of, you know, and that I know that the value of what we're putting into it will be in that house. So when it ever gets resold, it's going to be there. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really hard to think like that sometimes when you're talking about a budget and you're talking about time and, you know, the whole idea of will you make your money back and all this stuff. And like when we built the barbecue grill at the other house, it took so much money and so much time.
It was $5,000.
It was $5,000
for this outdoor brick.
Now is that total with the patio behind it? Okay,
with the patio and like
that's a lot of money for a frickin' barbecue grill that like most people would just be like, just buy a grill at Lowe's
/ patio, right?
And patio,
Stone
yes,
patio.
Yes, it's a beautiful patio, but it is such a showpiece. I mean, it matches the house. It looks like it goes with the house perfectly. People walk out to it. It's one of the first things we show people in the outside tour. And they're like, this is so great. People barbecue on it all summer. They do s'mores. The kids love to do s'mores.
It gives people an outdoor space to go to because it's before people go outside and there's like nothing.
There was like a little
It's
deck.
just like a big yard. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I mean, again, that's a good example of something that was exciting to me. We got to design it.
We designed it. Every little inch of it is designed by us. And Kevin, the guy that we were talking about, he built it. It was funny. We drew the picture. I remember we drew the picture, and then like if you hold the picture, it's just on a scrap piece of paper and pencil. If you put it next to it, it looks exactly like that. Like, it looks exactly like the drawing. So, I have to remember those things because, like, that's a big price tag for something that's, like, just a little extra thing, you know? But it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Like, a driveway, I think, is going to make a huge... Like, it's not a beautiful, you know, fireplace. But the fact that you don't have to walk up 40 steps to get up to the house might be a big selling point, you know, for a lot of people. So I have to remember that, that's all.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'm like, you know, I want to be the cheap, you know, Lowe's renovation, but then I wouldn't be happy when it was done, you know? And then in 5 years you'd notice, like, all the wear and tear, and you'd have to start replacing things, and... that's not what we want to do. Things
Yeah.
should not be replaced that soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, either it's you do this and you enjoy the process, or you just don't do it. I mean, this is not something that you can cut a lot of corners on, or
Yeah.
if you want to get a quality
You can cut a lot
end
of corners,
project,
but you shouldn't.
Right.
And you'll be sad when you're done if you do that.
All right, so this has been our renovation
Renovation
part of the podcast.
ramble.
But so this, like I said, we've been booking.
Yes.
People have been booking, and it's been good. So I was trying to figure out like how to share our numbers with people. Like we like to just be. It's fine that we're talking about all this stuff, but what's at the end of the day. I was trying to think of like what numbers could we share with people who are either thinking about running Airbnbs or they have one and they want to compare. Here's the way I'm thinking about it is there are 365 nights in a year.
Yeah.
So I thought the best number I can share is how many nights out of 2016 do we have booked or have we booked,
Okay.
So
this includes like January and February.
Everything.
That was already booked. Okay.
2016 has 365 days.
Yes.
We have 94 nights booked so
That's
far.
cool.
And every night that goes is one less night that we can book.
Right.
But like tonight is not booked, so that's
Right.
a night that's
It's
getting
just
lost.
gone. Yeah.
But so our goal is for the end of the year we have 200 nights.
Booked.
That's what our goal
Our
is.
goal is 200 nights.
Is 200 nights.
So we'll keep this number. Obviously, will keep rising because
Right.
for the summertime we're going to get booked.
Right. I mean, I have no doubt. Like, I'm feeling good that already it's like barely March and we already have 94 nights.
Yeah.
Either people have already stayed or people have booked into the as future. That's great. And we barely have like April's not touched much, May,
yeah.
June. I mean, so I'm feeling good.
Yeah, that's very good. So I ran into the woman who runs the big wedding venue. I ran into her at Walmart the other day when my mom and I were shopping. And she's like, I'm sending people your way. And then like 2 nights later, we got those people who are going to the wedding. So I'm like, okay, number one, she's not a venue. She's not an accommodation. She's a venue. So it helps her to have a place like ours that's high end. She trusts us. She knows us.
Right.
She knows we're going to give them, good value.
Right. And I don't really know her. You're the one that's really made that happen.
Yeah.
Where, you met her and you sent her a letter with little cards, and then you've talked to her, and she likes you.
She was so cute because at the wedding forum, I went to this, I talked about it last week. She was really cute because she's like, I loved your packet. Thank you so much for sending to me. It's so helpful. I've been sending people your way. I've been giving your postcards out like crazy. You cannot ask for a better promotion than that, And then we've been getting bookings from them. So I need to, mail her some more stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
But she was amazing because this is what's so amazing about wedding venues. She said, I'm booked through 2017. Wow. I've almost finished my 2017 bookings.
Wow.
How incredible is that? But weddings get booked,
Yeah.
a year ahead. So
it's good.
It's kind of interesting.
Okay, so yes, it's been a sick week, but the good news is the life that we've kind of helped build in one way is by having this Airbnb, it's rentals, that we can be sick and it's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have jobs that we have to go to. As long as people can check in and stay, then we have the money to be sick and to live.
Yeah.
So. All right, you can check out our blog at shampooandbooze.com, and that's where any links we talked about, or you can join the conversation there.
You can leave a question or a comment on something you heard on our voicemail line. The number is 540-407-8486.
And we post an episode every Sunday night or Monday, and you can subscribe to us through iTunes or through YouTube, so you always get the latest. And you can listen to our other podcasts where we talk about how we sell things online. That's mainly on eBay, but also on Amazon. And that funds everything we talk about. That's how we pay for it.
Yep.
So, and that's at scavengerlife.com. You can also rent our vacation house, or you can check out this farmhouse we're talking about on Airbnb, and you can just go over to our blog and check that out.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.